Oh, welcome back to Nolan Nopes podcast, week 3, week 2 in the books. What a great week. Week 2 was Paul 5-2, Nolan 5-1. If you're not on our picks, you're losing money. If you're fading, you're losing. I don't know what you're doing. You need to get on the picks. Paul, how we doing?
Feeling good, baby. Week 2 was good to us.
It was.
Got back on the winning side of things. A couple nice hits, and the money line parlay was so close to hitting.
Oh, my God. Tulane.
Dude, if we hit one of those this season, it's good, too. And we've been back-to-back weeks just that close. Exactly.
We're this close. We're this fucking close. Yeah. And Tulane should have got that touchdown. That was the most ridiculous call at the end there. That was so dumb. Yeah,
so they ran like a pick play. A quote-unquote pick play, but it wasn't a pick play. And I've seen more contact.
Oh, my God. It's disgusting.
Every game this season that was not called. Just a crazy call in that spot, but it is what it is. They still had to do some work from there, but I don't know. I think they were going to go for 2, actually. And
yeah, I would have rather them do that.
Yeah, and we might have cashed. You knew San Jose State was going to win, too, after that.
Yeah, seriously.
Brutal.
But 2 out of 3, 2 weeks in a row, and two close ones that we lost, but that's okay.
Yeah, and they were big dogs too.
Oh yeah. Couple sponsors, some businesses trying to get into the mix again. Blockbuster, Be Kind, Rewind. We appreciate it. I mean, remember those days of VHS? You had to fucking rewind the thing and you return it. What kind of stupid bullshit is that?
We had a little race car in my TV room that rewinded the VHS.
Ooh, good idea. Yeah. And then some Circuit City, too, where the streets are paved with bargains. So you need a bargain. Alert. Yeah. Get your ass to Circuit City. Fuck Best Buy. And I don't even know what the hell else is around with this tech shit.
Richards and Son?
Is that for that? Never been inside one. Sports Authority, get out and play. That's probably a bad motto because they kicked everybody out of the store to go play and never bought their shit. So that makes sense. Any comments from Twitter or the group chat we got to discuss?
It's been quiet. I think the week
the
2
boys
showing,
are winning.
Yeah, the week 2 showing quieted the crowd down a little bit. Nothing from Twitter. I haven't checked the YouTube comments. I don't think there's too many of those, but
nah.
We'll start to get some here and there, I hope.
Hey, maybe some positive comments. We'll see that.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. You won't see that.
I mean, you're going to start getting some traction. 11-2 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, I like it. And got the pick into, well, I won't discuss that just yet. Pick Central, check it out. If we get on the streak, let's hope it goes. Then we can get some notoriety going.
So back-to-back callers. Me, mine lost by half a damn point.
Yeah, they were talking about that. Did you hear them talking about that?
I didn't listen to that. What were they saying?
They were just like, oh, did the caller last week win? They didn't fucking know.
They didn't even know. I should have just called in and said I had 47.5.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, that was tough. Also, total side tangent. I cucked the shit out of you in fantasy this week.
You cucked me, dude? Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You had CMC, so I picked up the backup right before the game. You were down like 18 points. The backup put up like 22.
Yeah.
Would have won.
Also,
gotta be on the P's and Q's there.
Side note to that, in my other fantasy league, I was going against CMC, our good friend Jesse, listener to the pod, hopefully. But CMC went out, and I ended up winning because of that. So I guess I got the best of both worlds on that one.
Yeah, not bad.
Some college football and other news stories in sports. Tyreek Hill getting arrested before game time, but still suiting up, got me 20 points in that league too. Appreciate that. I also think, won't get too political into this, but I think both sides were at fault here. I think both should take responsibility for their actions and we all move on. My personal opinion.
Sure. That's never going to happen, obviously, but
nope.
It's a nice sentiment.
You got to pick a side, and you stick to it, bitch. So, ND, Notre Dame, after a great win in Texas A&M, prevented me from getting a perfect week 1, decides to lose to Northern Illinois at home.
You had them last week? I didn't realize that.
No, I had A&M last week, but Notre Dame fucking
gotcha.
screwed me.
Yeah.
But terrible loss by them. And then I wrote down Kentucky blown out by South Carolina. Do you know why I put that in there?
Because Kentucky plays Georgia this week?
No. So they bring in their backup, Kentucky. And you know who Kentucky's backup is?
I don't. I know their starter is Brock Vandagriff.
Gavin Wimsatt.
Oof. How'd he look?
Awful. You got to hear these two stat lines. I got to pull it. It's disgusting. Oh, my God.
Before you even get into Wimsatt, do you know Brock Vandagriff? Everyone's been kind of hyping him up. He was pretty highly rated quarterback. He was originally committed to Oklahoma and got spooked by Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was going to walk on at Oklahoma because he wanted to play for Lincoln Riley so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Vandagriff gets spooked a little bit, decommits, goes to Georgia, and I don't know. He's just never had any tape, but somehow had a ton of hype going into the season. And there was nothing behind it. It was just empty. Just somewhat of a highly recruited guy. Went to Georgia, so he must be good. Terrible.
Who's rating these guys?
247 on 3.
Oh my God.
They just, it's a crapshoot. I mean,
Jesus.
They do nail a lot of the top guys. Like if you're a 5-star, there's a good chance that you're going to be really good, obviously. But
these 4 stars,
it's just like the NFL draft. They miss sometimes.
That's true. Very true. But Oklahoma probably dodged a bullet with this one because he was 3 of 10 for 30 yards, an interception. Gavin Wimsatt comes in 3 of 7, 14 yards, 1 interception. I mean, they threw for 44 yards passing in this game.
That's a Rutgers
oh my God, special
19 special right there.
Oh my God, it's disgusting.
Ugh, horrible.
I mean, I don't know how you're an SEC school and that's what the fuck you're putting out there. That's the bad part.
Yeah.
All right, getting into we'll do our little thing about Rutgers and Oklahoma because I do have a rant for Rutgers. I don't know if you want to start with Oklahoma, but
yeah, I'll start with Oklahoma. They really pissed me off this last
it was
game.
a little ugly.
It was ugly as hell. The defense still looks really good. Danny Stutzman is an animal. He is a Butkus award-winning type of linebacker. I really think he can win that reward. Probably the best linebacker in the country. The dude is awesome. I love him. The offense. Jackson Arnold, not going to lie, kind of looked like shit. He missed a bunch of his deep throws, which he's usually pretty good on. I'm going to chalk it up to a bad game. The main issue remains the offensive line. They played a little better, whereas Jackson played a little worse, but it's still just a mess. It's not an Oklahoma line of the past where you've got a good 3-4 seconds in the pocket against these shitty teams. Jackson is getting pressured in 2 seconds, sometimes less. Sometimes people are just whiffing on blocks. It's really bad. I was really looking forward to that Tennessee game.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about that one, obviously, now. I mean, it was going to be a tight game no matter what, but it's looking like it might be an ugly game, and I'm kind of nervous about Tulane this week. Tulane's a pretty good team, and if we play like we did against Houston, we're screwed. Our defense is really, really good, but
did you watch the Oklahoma game? Because I didn't. I didn't watch
it.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched every snap.
Was Houston's defense good?
Houston's defense is middle of the road. They're okay. It's our offense looks like shit. UNLV, who's a pretty good team,
they're
put
not
up
bad.
28 against Houston's defense. So
Yeah.
Oklahoma puts up 14, and they were gifted 7 of those points because they muffed the punt, which may not have even been muffed. It was, they reviewed it and it wasn't conclusive, but so we had a 7-yard drive for a touchdown. If we don't have that, we might lose that game. So I know, that's the way things go. So you need a bounce here and there in some of these seasons, but it looks ugly. The podcast I was listening to that I typically do were all disgusted as well. It's just deflating, man. Like, first season in the SEC, we really think we got the defense figured out. Jackson Arnold's the truth, and now, the line is just so bad that we don't really even know what we have in Jackson. It's tough. I'm hoping for a bounce back going into Tennessee. The Tennessee line is crazy, by the way. 2 weeks from now,
they already got it up.
Oklahoma minus 3.5 right now.
Ooh,
it's in Oklahoma, in Norman, but
interesting.
I mean, if I won't do it, but anyone who is smart should probably be jumping over Tennessee plus 3.5. Tennessee looks really impressive. They beat the shit out of NC State.
Wasn't even a game. NC State couldn't do anything.
Yeah, and they're a balanced team. They've got a great offense. They got a good defense, defensive line, maybe one of the best in the country. James Pierce is definitely one of the best defensive linemen in the country. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm nervous.
Yeah, and I don't know. I didn't watch the game, but
it was bad. It was really bad.
Because I'm kind of feeling Houston right now.
All right. Well, I mean, So the weird thing about Houston was against UNLV, their offensive line, meaning Houston's, was a turnstile. They could not block anyone.
Oh, that's a big problem.
Going into the Oklahoma game, they were saying Oklahoma might break the single-game sack record against Houston. That did not happen. They simplified it. They got it right. Willie Fritz, I believe, is their coach. He made some major adjustments. The line looked competent. I mean, it wasn't great. Our defense still had its day. Like I said, we really only gave up 6 points, and then there was one blown play where a call got in late. And someone just went over the top wide open, like total bust and cover. So, that happens here and there, but they're I don't know. They were terrible week 1. Week 2 they looked better, but it might have just been because Oklahoma looked so bad.
Yeah, and I do like Donovan Smith. He was at Texas Tech, and he had a good game against Oklahoma actually, 24-28 for 260. So he didn't play bad for sure. Yeah. But all right, getting into Rutgers. So this team does have the potential to be good. I will say that. I am hard on them, but this next game, they have a bye this week. This next game against Virginia Tech is absolutely huge for them, because this is what's going to separate them from being a potentially good team to a good team, I think. At Virginia Tech, ACC team, who is actually a pretty good team. I know they lost week 1, but I think they might have just had the jitters when they came out, and they need to figure some stuff out. Their O-line is not good, and going against a Rutgers defense like this says a lot. Rutgers can be a good team. I think they are good. And it's just going to come down to the quarterback play with Kalaniakis or whatever. So, we'll see what they have a bye week here. Virginia Tech, I think, has Old Dominion, I think, or did they already play them? Fuck.
I don't know.
Hold on. This shit all fucking written down now. I can't find it.
Old Dominion, they play this Saturday.
They play who isn't like absolutely terrible as a G5 school, Group of 5 school. So we'll see what happens there. But I could see the line, Virginia Tech being favored anywhere between 3 and 7. I know that's like 4-point differential, but it depends on what Virginia Tech does this week. And I think Rutgers does have a good chance to win that game, but we'll see. But Rutgers got the job done week 1 and week 2. With no issues, so I'm happy to see that, and we'll see what they do in the future. I am a little bit high on them right now, so we'll see.
Do you hate that they have the bye week 3?
Yeah, I mean, what do they get, like 2? I think they get 2 byes, right?
Still.
Yeah. So I think it's good for them going into Virginia Tech for sure, just because they have a little more prep time. They don't have any look-ahead spots or any shit like that where they blow a game, so they could settle down, watch this game on Saturday, get a good film in, and actually understand what Virginia Tech's trying to do. Weaknesses and all. But I expect Rutgers to have a good game in 2 weeks. But I don't know. It is Rutgers, so you never fucking know what the hell they do.
Yeah.
All right. Recapping some week 2 picks. Texas and Michigan. Texas absolutely killed them. Ewers is just too good. Michigan's offense is absolutely dreadful. Couldn't do anything. And Texas is probably the best team in the country right now. I mean...
yeah, I mean, them, Georgia, Ohio State are up there, obviously. Another level. This was free money. I wish I would have bet the house on it. I knew Michigan was just living off of last year's success. Sharon Moore, Michigan's coach, completely got dominated by Texas coach Steve Sarkisian. He looks underprepared. The team has lost so many people. It's just not the same team. They're living off of the brand only. The line was begging for you to take Texas, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, for sure.
They could have honestly. Texas took their foot off the pedal too. They could have put up 50 against Michigan
Yeah,
without even trying. Like it was one-sided the entire time. Game never in doubt. Michigan, no offense, and quite
zero.
frankly, could not stop Texas's offense at all.
The best
Quinn
is when
Ewers dicing them up, and I
the
hate
best.
him.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be a top pick for sure. But Michigan, when they bring in Orchie for those third down and shorts, and they do these shotgun runs with them, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Some specialist, I don't know what kind of. I don't even. He's not even a quarterback. I don't even know what the fuck he is, to be honest with you. But moving on, Georgia Tech at Syracuse. Cuse gets the outright win. We're dogs at home. I mean, both of us saw this all the way. It was wrong team was favored there. McCord went absolutely off. Probably could have thrown for like 500 yards. They stepped off the pedal a little bit in the second half. Georgia Tech almost came back in that. They had a fucking recovered onside kick.
Yeah,
and
they did.
Thank God Syracuse pulled out that win.
Yeah.
Ray talked about.
I just wanted to quickly say on this. Like, this was a classic example of Georgia Tech winning week one against a Florida State team that was ranked by the AP voters early in the season, which means nothing. The AP voters, I was taking a look. Like, Reese Davis is on it. He, like, obviously watches, but he's a little bit of, like, a commentator, too. He's not in the nitty-gritty. The AP voters, they don't know what the fuck they're looking at. Like,
Sure looks like it.
it's all recency bias and just like name brand recognition. A lot of what you did last season when some of these rosters are completely overturned. So
Oh yeah, especially Florida
Tech,
State's.
Yeah, so Georgia Tech beats Florida State. Florida State loses to Boston College. Obviously, Florida State not a good team. Georgia Tech's ranked. Everyone sees that number versus no number. It's at Syracuse. Another one, just easy money.
Kansas State at Tulane, we already talked about that. Cal and Auburn.
This was like one of my favorite picks, and Cal going to Auburn in Jordan Hare. I don't know if the crowd was just not into it. I didn't really catch much of the game, but listening to a couple of different things, it sounded like Auburn just had nothing. They were lackadaisical. I think there was
They were
a bunch
not
of
moving the ball at all.
fumbles. Yeah, it was
A lot of turnovers.
It was ugly. I don't quite understand how Cal does that going into Jordan Hare, but Auburn looked great week one. They looked like they really had some offensive firepower with some of those young freshman wide receivers, and it just collapsed completely.
Yeah, maybe Cal is something. We'll see. Their quarterback actually pretty good. New ACC edition, but we'll see. Iowa State at Iowa. I actually didn't watch really much of this game, but Iowa State with the late comeback and the victory.
I actually did. It was a tough watch for the first half. And then the second half, it really picked up when Iowa State forged that comeback. They could not move the ball at all until they made some second half adjustments. And, I mean, Matt Campbell, he is a pretty good coach. He makes, game-winning changes here and there, it seems like. And typically this is a game where Iowa would sneak it out, and this time it just flipped. A couple big plays here and there, and I don't know, it was actually enjoyable to watch, and it typically is not.
Those two teams always go at it. It's always a good game. You're never gonna.
Yeah. The line was +2, and you just knew that you were gonna want that. So it didn't end up mattering because Iowa State won outright. But I think it was 19-17 maybe at some point, or it was within 2 points. I think at some point, maybe 15-17. It was a weird scoring game.
Did Beck look good, the quarterback for Iowa State?
Rocco, yeah, he looked good in the second half. I mean, the first half he was terrible, but like I said, they made some changes.
Is good, yeah.
It's a good defense. Yeah, he's a gamer.
Evidently. So Kansas traveling to Illinois came in as, I think they were 5-point favorites, dropped down to like 4. Illinois actually ended up winning outright. And Kansas is just not the same team right now. Jalen Daniels cannot get it going. Their offense is just not what they used to be. So maybe Kansas isn't back, or they're back to being bad, what they were a few years ago, but just ugly. Air Force at San Jose State with the outright win here. And so the reason I took them is the former head coach of Navy is now their head coach. So he knows how to defend against an Air Force offense or a Naval Academy offense. I mean, And they have a top wide receiver in Nash, so I just knew they were the better team. I had to take them. It was too easy to pass up on that. So we got the win there.
Yeah.
Tennessee at NC State against NC State was in Charlotte, but absolute blowout like what we discussed. Tennessee's quarterback, absolute monster. 6'6", got freshman, looks good, could throw the ball.
Yeah. I mean, he actually didn't have his best stuff. He threw 2 picks, but it's clear. I mean, he looks the part. He's going to be a stud as we progress throughout the season, just get better and better. And then, he's going to be on Heisman watch list next year, obviously, and when he's a junior. I mean, he might very well be on watch list this year as well. So
yeah, I mean, the way they're playing, I mean,
they're looking good. They're looking real good.
They'll be a top contender in the SEC. I think they'll give some top teams some trouble.
Yeah,
and
that's why I'm so confused about that. He is. He's a very good coach. That's why I'm so confused about that Oklahoma line in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So then the next game, night game. So that was a night game too, but another night game. Colorado at Nebraska, and honestly, Nebraska's defense just held Colorado. Colorado couldn't do anything. I mean,
man, did we see the board right this week or what?
I know, it's crazy. Nebraska 7-point favorites too, and just that wasn't even really a game either. I mean, Nebraska just looked good, had the crowd with them, and freshman quarterback with Matt Rule, man, he's a good coach too. I'll give it to him. He's good college coach. I'll say that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's won everywhere he's went.
And then last game, I actually took the under in this, the Oregon State and San Diego State game, and both teams just aren't that good this year. And San Diego State usually doesn't put up any points, so I just had to take it. I thought it was just too good to take. Oregon State has a lot of new pieces this year, so I just saw it being a low-scoring game. All right, so we're going to dive into picks now, week 3. So I'm going to get into the Thursday night game. So this was the pick I did on Pick Central, Barstool.
Shout out Texas, the boys.
Yeah, Texas State. Arizona State traveling to Texas State. Texas State as 2-point dogs at home. And I'll tell you what, this Texas State team is good. I mean, they're up there as one of the top teams in the group of 5 schools. They have the quarterback transfer, Jordan McLeod from James Madison. Threw for 3,500 yards last year with 35 TDs, 10 interceptions, and they returned their 1,000-yard rushing running back. And the defense is pretty much filled with all juniors and seniors. A good veteran group could shut down this Arizona State offense. And Arizona State's coming in 2-0, beat Mississippi State and Wyoming, who's terrible, but both at home. Mississippi State has a bunch of new pieces on their team, so I didn't think it was that impressive a win, especially since Mississippi State almost came back and won that. But now we don't even know how Arizona State plays on the road, and this is their first road spot. And Texas State they're going to be up for this game. They're going to have a big crowd there, big party school, San Marcos. They're going to be bumping. I just think this is a great spot for Texas State. I think they see this. They have a spot. They might get that 12th spot in the playoff. They have it in their sights, and I just think they take this game so seriously. It's one of the conference championships for them right now. So I'm going Texas State +2, and would even take the money line in this one.
I know nothing about this, but you're so confident. I'm loving it. I might ride it with you. I can't say I know anything about Texas State, though.
Yeah, ride it with me. Just trust it.
Big trust, yeah.
All right. So next game, still sticking with the weekday games. Couple of good weekday games here. We got
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights. UNLV going to Kansas. UNLV is 7-point dogs. I think it's 7.5 last time I checked too. But I'm gonna take UNLV in this one. I mean,
I'm dead there with you.
Yeah, I mean, good group of 5 team. They play good defense. They're very underrated right now, and they have this Holy Cross quarterback who just transferred in and is actually just keeping. UNLV had a pretty good offense last year, and you know what? They're pretty good this year too, and their defense is outstanding. Kansas is just not clicking right now. They do not look good, obviously. The Kansas OC left for Penn State. I'll keep harping on that because their offense stinks. And I have to take the team that's hot and looks good right now against a team that just looks awful. I mean, that's the best way to say it. I'm going with UNLV in this one +7.
Yeah, give me UNLV +7, and also give me the UNLV Kansas under 58.5.
Ooh, dude, that's a high number. What the hell? I might jump on that too.
It feels like a trap, maybe, but it's a high number. UNLV is a good defense.
Yeah,
they have a really good defense. They have a really good secondary.
Dude, they shut down Donovan Smith and Houston. And that's saying something, I think. Especially Oklahoma's defense. Smith had a pretty good game. But it's like you said, maybe the offensive line made some adjustments on their end and, fix some things up. So Friday night, again, Arizona at Kansas State. You got playing this one?
I don't.
So Kansas State, -7 coming into this one. And I'm going to go to Arizona in this one. I've been high on them all year. Fafita is quarterback, and they have McMillan at wide receiver. Both are going to go pro. I mean, Fafita won't – he'll be like a backup or whatever, but McMillan will be a top wide receiver for sure. The only thing that scares me is this Arizona defense. They're not as strong, and Kansas State could put up some points. They're pretty good on offense. That's the thing. They were a little inconsistent against Tulane, but when they needed to turn it up, they did. Avery Johnson is their quarterback, dual threat. He can run the ball. So I think this will be a high-scoring game, but I think Arizona could cover this line. And saying that, I did have a $10 free bet. So I put it on Texas State money line, UNLV money line, and Arizona money line +1.775. That's not going to be our official underdog parlay, but I'm just throwing it out there just in case.
Okay, yeah. I'll workshop it.
Yeah. So on Saturday, LSU. Oh, actually, I added that one in. Do you have any 12 o'clock plays on Saturday?
I don't have the times on what I'm looking at. I was just going off of the outline.
Okay.
I had Bama, Wisconsin.
All right, so Bama, Wisconsin. I'll let you take that away.
Yeah, so Bama, Wisconsin is a tricky, interesting little one. I'm going to play the under. I didn't even write down the line.
So I got
50.5, I think, right?
Yeah. 51.5 is what I had.
51.5? All right,
yeah.
so whatever I actually put it in as, I'll tell you so we can post it, obviously. But I don't know. I just think that Wisconsin's going to have trouble moving the ball against Bama. I also think Jalen Milroe is going to struggle a little bit against Wisconsin's defense. I mean, Wisconsin, I don't think the defense has looked as good as they have in the past, but they're still Wisconsin. Like, they're going to make it tough to move the ball on them, and their offense looks really, really bad. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with Bama's just straight-up talent that they have on the defensive side of the ball. I think Wisconsin's going to run the ball, shorten the game. I like that it's in Wisconsin, too. A little jitters maybe for Bama.
Especially coming off that game against South Florida, I mean.
Yeah, that was a tight one.
Oh,
yeah. Didn't need to be. The score may not show it, but it was tight. It was like,
definitely.
I don't know, within 3 points going into the fourth quarter, I think. So don't be fooled by that. I don't know. I was struggling to pick a side because it's such a weird point total. I think it's 16, which is
I'm not taking
all
that
over
either.
the place. So I'm on the under.
All right, I like it. Moving on, we'll do A&M, Texas A&M traveling to Florida. A&M coming in as 4-point favorites, over under at 47.5. I'm going to stay away from this one just because Florida's, bringing out their freshman quarterback probably again. And A&M didn't even really look that good last week. Wigman didn't even have that good of a game. I really don't know which way this could go. I think A&M, I would lean A&M at this point, but both these teams need to win. This is a big game for both of them, so it's just hard to cap this one. What say you?
Exactly, same situation. I would lean A&M, but to stay away from me. Florida, DJ Lagway now looked really good, but they were playing Bumblefuck State, obviously, so it's hard to know if he's going to be good against Texas A&M's defense, who's actually pretty good. They had that great game with Notre Dame, but now I don't know what to think about that because Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, so just too many variables here. I'm staying away for sure.
So moving on, West Virginia traveling to Pitt, the backyard brawl. I guess this is like a rivalry week in week 3 because Oregon State plays Oregon and Washington plays Washington State.
Colorado State.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever. Get the rivalries out of the way for some reason. But West Virginia coming in as 2.5 point favorites over under 60.5. So I'm actually gonna take West Virginia in this one. A lot of, they played Penn State. First game got absolutely killed. Couldn't do anything. But I think Green will turn it up. He's playing against a team at Pitt, which has a freshman quarterback who actually looks pretty good. He didn't look bad. They had a good comeback against Cincinnati last week.
But they were losing for much of that game to Cincinnati.
Yeah, they were. Like the entire game.
Yeah.
But I think West Virginia is honestly just the better team in this one. They got a lot of pieces on their offense, a lot of returners on defense. And I know this is a rivalry game. Pitt will be up for this one at Pitt, but they don't even get that big of a crowd. They play at Heinz Field or whatever, and like barely anybody's there. I just can't see it being too much of a factor. West Virginia travels well, so I think it's going to be like pretty much half and half for this. So I'm going West Virginia in this one, -2.5.
Yeah, I'm West Virginia too. I don't know, Pitt, ACC down. I can never really make much of Pitt. I feel like they're just such a middle of the road, forgotten about team. And I think West Virginia's kind of good, so
yeah.
West Virginia.
Hey man, when you think the team is better, I think it's always the right choice to go with them. To be honest,
yeah.
Unless it's a bad spot or you see something other people don't.
They're going to be up for this game, West Virginia.
Yeah. So next game, Georgia traveling to Kentucky. Nice SEC battle. Georgia, 24 point favorites over under 45.5. And honestly, I have to take Georgia in this. I will never forgive myself.
Too.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been in this spot before years ago, this exact same spot, and I've been burned. But more times than not, Georgia just blows the doors off of the team they're playing when it's like a 18 to 25 point spread. I don't think Kentucky's going to be able to score at all. Georgia's defense has let up like 13 points the whole season. I think they're going to keep them under double digits and can very easily put up 35.
I definitely agree. I mean, Kentucky put up 6 points against South Carolina. South Carolina is not a good team. Yeah. And you're going to have the Georgia, #1 team in the country, come in, and you have Vandergriff and Gavin Wimsatt. I mean, it's you are not moving the ball. It's not happening. So we're both on that. We're both in agreement. We might get burned, but honestly, it's just too good.
I don't even care.
Pass
honestly.
Up. Yeah, me neither.
I'd rather listen. If Kentucky covers, they lose by 21. I'll take the loss.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and take Kentucky and they get blown out 45-0.
I probably won't take Kentucky all year. All right, moving on. Colorado back on the board. Colorado -7 at Colorado State. Nice rivalry game. Playing at Fort Collins, I want to say it is. And you know what? I hate to do this, but I'm going to take Colorado in this one.
Really? I'm on the other side of this one. Okay.
I just think Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter could break a few out. They could put some big plays together against this Colorado State team. Obviously, Colorado has their own woes. Their offensive line stinks. Their defense stinks. But I think Deion will get them up for this game, and I think they realize that they're getting their asses kicked, that they actually need to come out and make a statement for themselves. So I'm riding with them. We'll see what happens. I might lose all faith in them after this week, though.
Yeah, I actually could see them winning this game, but I think it might be close, just like last year when they went into overtime. Colorado State returned a bunch of people. There was that story going around that people turned down big NIL deals to stay at Colorado State. That was just going around before the Texas game. They got absolutely manhandled.
Yeah, but also Texas is fucking one of the best teams in the
Texas
country,
is a different
too.
animal for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so much turmoil going around right now at Colorado. Shedeur's walking off the field before the game's even over. There's all kinds of nonsense in the media. I don't know if you saw the game. Travis Hunter was jumping up and down, losing his shit.
What, he wasn't getting the ball or something?
I couldn't even tell you, but just complete chaos.
No, and Jay Norvell is a good head coach for Colorado State. He's rebuilding this program, so I definitely could see it. I don't know.
Yeah, listen, don't let me sway you. But give me Colorado State. I I think this might be the end for Colorado, where for the season, where they're no longer a big brand to pay attention to.
Yeah, I could see that too. For sure.
You get smoked by Nebraska, you lose to Colorado State, and things get ugly real quick.
Oh yeah, I think I heard from somebody that one of the coaches at Colorado left, and pretty much they asked him, and they're like, he was like, honestly, it's like a dumpster fire over there. I can't even take it. He said it was just total complete chaos. Yeah.
Right,
So
I see that.
I agree.
They got some really good athletes who can just win matchups. Like they have elite talent at wide receiver, obviously with Travis Hunter, and Shadur is really good quarterback. But I don't know. It's Colorado State strikes me as one of those like teams, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like play for each other, not flashy
Sure.
at all, do the small things, and it keeps it close.
Big military presence over there, so they're very disciplined over there.
And that'll help.
Yeah, definitely against this fucking team. But
Damn, you really
maybe I'll
love your
rethink
pick, huh?
that one. Nah, I'm
Don't
sticking
let me
with
sway
it.
you. Don't let me sway you.
All right, so that's it for the marquee matchups. I'll add in. How many more plays you got?
I got a couple more here.
All right, you go.
All right, so I'm going to start off with Florida State.
Mm.
Right, so Florida State is home against Memphis, -6.5. Memphis is a very good Group of 5 team. I just think the hate on Florida State might have gone a little bit too far. I mean, don't get me wrong, they stink, they suck, but Memphis Group of 5 team going into Florida State in Tallahassee, less than a touchdown. I don't know. If not now, when? Right? Like they have to get off the mat. They're not going to be the bottom team in the ACC. Obviously, I know this isn't a conference game, but they got to start getting some wins. They're 0-2 for Christ's sakes.
Yeah,
they have talent. Like
they do, and they're all new guys. They're getting used to each other still, so it makes sense. Week 3, they could turn it up this week. I wouldn't be surprised.
And preseason, I think this game was like a 17-point spread. So. I'll take the 10 points back and
for sure,
and give it a whirl with Florida State here.
The only thing that would scare me is Memphis quarterback is pretty good, but the rest of the team is definitely, not as good as him. Seth Hennigan, he's all right, so that's the only thing I'd watch out for.
Yeah, not fair.
So my only other play is I'm actually going to ride Houston here. So they're -4. Against Rice. It's not a far travel for Rice. It's in Houston going against TJ Warner. But honestly, Houston going against UNLV and Oklahoma, those are two good teams, and they play good defense in both of those somewhat. I just think UNLV is a good team, and they held Oklahoma at bay in Norman. I think this team might be sneaky good because they have Donovan Smith at quarterback. I like him. He could sling it. And it's Rice. And Houston needs this win. They're 0-2 right now. They need this one, and I think they could win by more than 4 points. I just think this is too good to pass up. I'm taking Houston in this one.
Very good. All right. Do you have any thoughts on Indiana UCLA?
So I was thinking Indiana, but
that's who I'm on.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to stay away from that, but it's just UCLA's had a bye last week, so that's the only thing that kind of scares me. I really don't know what they are just yet.
So my rationale for this is UCLA played Hawaii, right? And then I think that's all they've played so far.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana is a little battle-tested. And I don't know, UCLA, everyone's been talking about how bad they are, and their coach is obviously completely unprepared. I don't love that it's, a little bit of like a cross-country-ish flight from Indiana to UCLA, but Indiana seems like they're a middle-of-the-pack team in the Big Ten, whereas I think UCLA is more on the bottom side. I don't know. I don't have much information to go off. It's more of like a gut thing here, so
yeah,
I'm just going to ride UCLA. Or I'm sorry, Indiana -3.
Dude, Indiana has Curtis Rourke, who's actually used to play at Ohio, and he's actually pretty good. He could play, man. He's one of the top prospects for the Canadian Football League.
Okay.
But no, he could play. He's not bad. So that's one of the reasons I was going to take them. It's just I just don't know what UCLA is just yet. So we'll wait and see on that one for me.
And then one more quick one that's also just going off of vibes. Give me UAB plus 24.5 against Arkansas. I just think Arkansas coming off of a overtime game with Oklahoma State poured a lot into that. Maybe a little bit of sleepiness coming into this one. I don't know a damn thing about UAB, but I'm just praying that they can keep it close with getting 24.5 points.
Yeah, 24.5 is a lot for sure. Is this at Arkansas too?
It is at Arkansas.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a feel for that either, so I couldn't really give any insight on this one.
All good.
Oh, yeah, that's when Arkansas played Oklahoma State tough last week and ended up blowing it.
Yeah. But Arkansas did look like world beaters week 1, but
yeah,
I forget who it was. It was somebody
FCS
shitty, terrible team. Obviously.
Yeah, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah, I mean that's a high school team.
I don't even know what the fuck kind of name is that? Pine Bluff. I mean, it's probably the name of the town and all, but still, who names the town that?
Jesus. Pine Bluff catching a heavy ricochet right now.
Yeah, for real. All right, so
anything else?
I don't have any more plays.
I got one more for you, baby.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, just pull it up real quick.
Well, quick note: other couple of good games out there. Just as we said, Oregon State. Oregon hasn't even looked good, so I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
And they're coming in as 16-point favorites.
Yeah, it's another weird line. I don't know how to.
Yeah, exactly.
Handicap that one. I got LSU -7.
Okay, I'm probably going to jump on that too. I didn't want to mention it, but
South Carolina. Why didn't you want to mention it?
I was still trying to do some research on it, but honestly, like, South Carolina's coming off that win against Kentucky. They think they're good, but they really suck.
Yeah, so the whole reason that South Carolina was so dominant against Kentucky, well, not the whole reason, but defensively at least, they got so much pressure. They got that stud freshman, Dylan Stewart, right, coming off the edge.
Mm-hmm.
The strength of LSU is their offensive line. I think that they
they're one of the top
together,
teams, yeah.
And he's neutralized to some effect. And then, if they don't have that, the defense isn't really that good, and the offense honestly sucks. So if LSU kept USC to mid-20s or whatever it was, 24 maybe?
Yeah. 27, yeah.
27, I think that, they should be able to keep South Carolina to 20, and be able to score more than 27. So I like LSU.
I'm in agreement with that pick.
Nice. Cool.
So we're going against each other. Which was it, the Colorado game? You beat me last week when we went against each other, and it wasn't even fucking close.
Which one was that again?
NC State, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. That was a bloodbath.
It was disgusting.
But you beat me week 1, Miami, Florida, so. And that was also not close.
No. Well, McCall, the quarterback for fucking NC State, literally couldn't do anything. He was afraid to throw the fucking ball downfield. It was driving me insane.
Yeah, I heard that he suffered, I forget what it was. He suffered some type of injury and he's just not been the same man.
Ugh, it didn't look like it, man. They were bad.
Feel bad for the guy.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
All right, any look-ahead games? So, one actually I want to bring up, is USC at Michigan. Michigan right now, 9.5-point favorites.
Is that for real?
I don't get that. I don't understand it.
It's almost worse than the Oklahoma one.
Yeah, man. USC looks good, and Michigan sucks. Like, how Michigan is 9.5-point favorites, almost double-digit favorites, is crazy to me right now.
Yes.
I would throw money on USC right now, honestly.
I actually wanted to once more fade Michigan because I just think they're no way near what they were, and they're still like a little overvalued. But I couldn't against Arkansas State because that's a game where they might actually cover 24. But yeah, in 2 weeks, I mean USC, they're home, right?
Yeah, well, Michigan is home.
Yeah, Michigan's home. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
that's typically a nightmare for USC because their defense, like Michigan, could just run the ball every single play and probably score a touchdown each drive. But USC's defense has seemed to turn a corner a little bit with this new coordinator they got from UCLA. So
I like it.
It's tough to. We're basing that all off of one game. Well, I guess
we are.
Really. They blanked Utah State, but I don't know how good they are.
Not good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're very good, but I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. I'll like to see what Michigan does against Arkansas State. As weird as that sounds.
We'll see.
But I mean, listen, if they win by like 14, 2 touchdowns, let's say, and the way they win, like if their defense dominates but their offense is still sluggish, then I might be looking at USC. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Tennessee, Oklahoma. I was looking way more forward to it when I thought Oklahoma was going to be a pretty good team
What time's that
this
game
year.
on?
They just announced. I think it's 7:30.
All right, thank God. We get a good game at fucking night.
That's one of the best things of Oklahoma joining the SEC. No more noon kickoffs.
Yeah,
this
fuck
big noon
that.
kickoff is
Hate
terrible. Prime time, baby.
Yeah,
3:30,
exactly.
7:30, 4:30, whatever. It's gonna be awesome.
Gonna have the dual TV going with this Tennessee Oklahoma game.
And USC, Michigan, same time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I can't find Michigan here with the USC. What the fuck?
The other thing is, I wanted to jump all over Clemson this week, but they are on bye, so that's.
Well, yeah, Clemson's got NC State next week too.
Yeah, is there a line out for that one
next week? Yeah, Clemson's 7.5 point favorites.
Yeah, like I love Clemson there.
Yeah,
already.
me too.
Love them.
Oh, so USC at Michigan is actually at 3:30.
Okay.
So, but at least we have Tennessee at Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's a good slate week 4 because you get some
Yeah,
conference
better.
games. I'm looking here. We got Utah, Oklahoma State. That's going to be a great game.
That will be a good game too. Yeah.
Tennessee, Oklahoma, obviously. Ole Miss fucking plays nobody. Jesus Christ. Week 4, they're playing Georgia Southern.
Ugh.
What is going on? They have a.
I know. Jackson Dart's one of the top fucking quarterbacks too. He'll
they're
slice
playing
them up.
against air. I mean, they look great, but they're like Tennessee, except Tennessee's played NC State.
Lane Kiffin got a girlfriend in her fucking mid-20s. Guy is hot.
Good for him.
All right. Any other comments? Anything to bring up?
No, I think that's it for me this week.
What about the boys win?
I mean, the boys look
Oh, my
real good,
God.
but I don't want to get ahead of myself because, it's who knows with the Browns. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about, which we should have. Do you have any feel on Boston College, Missouri? It's like the one ranked-on-ranked matchup this week.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I think it's at 16 right now, and I just can't do it. Honestly, I think Bill O'Brien's just too good of a coach. I think he could actually keep this one better than 16 points. So that's why I'm going to stay away from it, even though I think Missouri is such a way better talented team than them. But I can't take 16.
Yeah. My buddy John he went to Boston College, is a big fan, and he's been singing their praises. Missouri, I hate, but I respect. Luther Burden, Brady Cook, 16 points.
It's a lot.
I don't know. My lean is probably Boston College, but I think it's a stay away from me. I don't know. I was looking at the over/under a little bit, but I'm all over the place with it, so it's got to be a stay away.
I agree.
Yeah, but shout out Boston College. They're looking better.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man, going into Florida State, even though Florida State's definitely not good, but going there and winning handily is impressive for
You
sure.
know what would be disgusting? A Rutgers Boston College game.
Yeah.
That would be ugly. Probably a really good game though.
Hey, man, Rutgers. Let's see. That's a big game at 3:30 in 2 weeks, man. We'll see.
We'll see.
I like them. And then I think they got Washington after that, a Friday night game. Which, if you're going into that 3-0, the High Point Solution Stadium is going to be bumping. I don't even think it's fucking called that anymore, but
It also doesn't get bumping. I don't think it's ever been bumping.
We may have to go.
45,000 people?
yeah, something like that.
Pathetic.
We might have to go.
It's pathetic. How are we a Big Ten school and we're seating 45,000 people?
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Ugh.
It's going to be Louisville 2009 all over again, or 2007 all over again, baby.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a team that plays nobody, by the way.
Oh, well, Louisville. Louisville's
Yeah.
actually kind of talented this year, too, so they might make some noise with that if they're
Yeah.
not playing anybody.
Nobody.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it, man.
All right. Well, subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again. It's all very much appreciated. Leave a comment. We'll read them. get our reactions, give a like. It's all very much appreciated. Thank you. Week 3 in the books. We're moving along here. It's going to be week 10 before we know it. Appreciate you joining in.
Take care, everyone. Thanks.